We're back. How's this? It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, live from DNVR Sports, downtown Denver, Colorado. Test. Johnny Venerable, Bo Brack, take two. PHNX Cardinals, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe, friends. All right, everything's fine, especially for the Arizona Cardinals, who look good today against the Denver Broncos. We're going to be breaking it all down, as well as the news that the Denver Broncos nor the Arizona Cardinals plan to play starters in this preseason, Bo.
Lame there, so is rough Wi-Fi. And we apologize about that, but we are back. And as much as we think our friends over here at DNVR are hospitable, we're missing Studio K.
Yeah.
But look, we'll be back in Phoenix tomorrow with the show as well. But we've got about an hour and some change today to talk about what we witnessed out there at Broncos training camp as they held joint practices with Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Did we see a friendship, a bond? Are they brothers now? Jonathan Gannon and Sean Payton, two peas in the pod, two head coaches that have built cultures of the respective teams, put on a show today. I think one of the most competitive games or I guess displays of football I've seen this preseason, and it was pretty great to see Cardinals go up against what's going to be considered one of the top defenses going in this league. Obviously, statistically, it was one of the best defenses last year. Had the defensive player of the year and Patrick Surtain, and then how did the revamped Cardinals defense fare against a guy like Bo Nix? We're going to answer all those questions and then some.
Yeah, how did Marv look? Michael Wilson, Will Johnson, Kyler Murray. Here's what I'll say, and I said this on the prior stream. I'm going to repeat myself here for the benefit of everybody joining now. By the way, drop a like. These are two playoff teams. And I was skeptical of the Denver Broncos coming into today because they played a lot of dog water quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
And they won 10 games, and you've got that kind of skew bias maybe against Vance Joseph because how things ended in Arizona. This is a team that's firmly going to be in the playoff mix. They should make the playoffs. They should win 10, 11, 12 games. And the strength of their team, fair or not, at times is what gives the Cardinals problems. Like, I thought the pass rush looked good for the Cardinals today. I thought the run defense looked good, but the secondary is young. And Will Johnson probably had his toughest day. We'll break that down. Then on the flip side, the defensive line and the secondary for Denver gave Kyler Murray in this offense fits. Now, if you talk to people, which we did, around the facility and reporters here in Denver, the Cardinals had by far the best outing of any team against this defense. And part of that is also including Denver's offense that goes up against them every day. So I think you can look at it two ways. I'm going to tell you right now, this passing game is not refined yet. And I think that is where our kind of point of contention remains. Drew Petzing, Kyler Murray, the receivers, outside of Trey McBride, and then the occasional splash play to Marv, that's all you're getting. You're getting checkdowns. You're getting underneath screens to running backs. Like, I love Michael Wilson. He is not a part of the offense right now, at least today against the Denver Broncos. So does that change when you play dirt, defenses like New Orleans and Carolina? It might. I hope it does. But like anybody expecting to see a revamped passing game that's going to throw for 400 yards this year, I don't think it exists, at least not yet.
I think that context is so important as far as the Denver defense. I mean, to kind of continue the conversation we had with those who covered this team exclusively, the Broncos, our friends over at DNVR, do a great job, Zach Stevens and Henry Lockwood.
Yeah.
And, they count one practice of training camp where Bo Nix and the Broncos outperformed the Broncos defense. Other than that, it's been just win after win after win after win that Patrick Surtain, Zach Allen, and crew have tallied up dubs day in and day out for against their offense there. So, and then also you factor in this isn't their first joint practice. You know who they practiced against last week, Johnny? The San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
And apparently the San Francisco 49ers just didn't do nearly as much as the Arizona Cardinals were able to accomplish. They were just kind of surprised. Like somebody even made a comment to me, is like, I'm sure Sean Payton is probably a little bit happier that he's watching the first team Broncos offense instead of their defense, because it was one of their toughest days of camp.
Yeah, let's start with the positives, right? We'll go through it, and then we'll get to some things that were maybe a little bit concerning or need improvement.
Because they weren't short of that either. And I think I mean, anytime you face a defense like that, you're going to come away like, oh, we could have done a lot of things better.
The number one aspect to take away today, I think wholeheartedly, is the Cardinals were relatively healthy to leave joint practice. Like you always hear about guys getting carted off, right? The Broncos themselves had a scare with, all-pro tackle Garrett Bowles, who just had a little bit of an asthma attack. He was okay, thankfully. But Cardinals, very competitive, physical, training camp practice, joint practice, whatever you want to call it, and came out relatively healthy. So that was exciting. We had a chance to connect with Monty Ossenford after practice. He was fired up about that. Because, again, like, you can make mistakes. They're correctable as long as guys are available.
Yeah.
If they're not available, a la Darius Robinson, B.J. Ojolari last year, I mean, just you have to go down the depth chart. And the Cardinals' depth chart remains robust. So that's the first positive that I want to take away from today. The defensive line for the Cardinals, I thought, showed out pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, what's considered one of the better teams in the trenches, Denver, there's talk that the Cardinals were comparable, with Calais Campbell and Darius Robinson, who was part of the media scrum, just standing shirtless like the giant Incredible Hulk at the back end, like he was going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Never ended up did about Calais Campbell, but like D-Robin crew, no Dalvin Tomlinson, who's out. We'll get into that a little bit later with comments from the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, but like they were pretty stifling against the run, and that's encouraging to hear. And then as far as the pass, Mack Wilson Sr., the starting Mike linebacker for this team, said there's a lot to clean up as far as against the pass. We saw a lot of open wide receivers, from Cortland Sutton to Mims to was it Vale?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
a good player.
Big time plays all over the field. Bo Nix slinging around there like Peyton Manning did about a decade ago. It was a rough day as far as, I think the Will Johnsons, the Max Meltons, the Rabbit Taylor Demersons, the Jalen Thompsons of the world.
Yeah.
I think that they wish they had a bunch of reps back today. But like the run defense, from what we witnessed, it was solid. They were, the defensive front seven, they were getting pressure, and they feel, I think, pretty decent about how today went.
Yeah, there were a couple sacks or would-be sacks in games that didn't get called because you're not taking down Bo Nix in practice, and that allowed the play to go on a little bit further and led to a couple deep shots. Zach Stevens of DMVR specifically pointed out, like, Cardinals' run defense was awesome today. The Broncos couldn't run the football at all. So it's, again, as advertised, Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell and Baron Browning all got to the quarterback at different times. So, again, it's tough because you want to look at, why is Marvin Mims wide open? Why are these big explosives happening? But, in a game scenario, are they being, taken down? That remains to be seen. I'll echo your comments. Mack Wilson Sr. was great. Like, the Cardinals defense will be fine, right? Like, Sean Payton is a mastermind offensively. Say what you want about him. His philosophy offensively, just call a spade, is more advanced than what the Cardinals do, or it works better for them, whereas the Cardinals are very run dominant. And it was weird and a little bit refreshing today to watch Bo Nix throwing 30, 40-yard passes seemingly at will. It's not something the Cardinals, at least at this point, have chosen to prioritize, and he was completing them. But I still think the Cardinals defense has a ton of positives to come away with today, most notably that they're healthy. Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball, because I think, Teo Mackey's got a report out. There's a lot of people. Josh Weinfuss had comments before the show started today. Let's talk about Kyler Murray before we get to Trey and Marv and everybody else. Your assessment of K1 today.
It was a little herky-jerky. It wasn't a perfect performance by any means. I think there was he really felt the pressure, I think, from the defensive front that was at times, on him early.
Yeah.
And, missed some throws. I'm sure there was some throws that he wanted back. It was uneven, no doubt about it, but I also thought he made some plays today.
He did.
I don't think he was short on those. And there was a ton of them to Trey McBride, and then he was able to find Marvin Harrison Jr. later in the practice. So, I mean, I think it was a fine performance. He didn't have anything like where there was, a ton of turnovers or anything like that. I know we saw maybe one pick in the 7s. But, I thought Kyler's performance was fine today.
Yeah, to me, and we got a $100 super chat we're going to get to here in a second. To me, it was a little bit like a game manager kind of day for Kyler Murray. And again, there are going to be days where he can do that and the Cardinals could win by 2 touchdowns. And there are going to be days where he needs to make more plays. I think, again, Steve Spagnuolo last week, Vance Joseph in this defense this week, great way to knock the rust off, feel good about what you're doing. Hey, here's where I'll on the flip side. Here's where I'll kind of signal a little bit of not a red flag, but maybe like a light orange flag right now.
Okay.
The Cardinals are moving the ball effectively between the 20s. The Cardinals still struggle in the red zone. Is that fair to say? I think they're a team right now. I think Trey's going to catch more touchdowns this year just organically, and Marv is going to be more productive. This is just a team right now that is still finding itself offensively in the red zone. James Conner looks good.
Yeah.
And maybe the solution is you're just going to run James Conner until the wheels fall off in the red zone. And I'd be okay with that. But there were times where Kyler Murray and company, they'd put together a phenomenal drive and it would stall in the red zone. And that was that was the bugaboo for this team last year to end the year. Whereas they're getting where are the touchdowns? If you're not going to get big explosives, then you have to be efficient with these 10 to 12 play drives that end in touchdowns in the red zone. And so that is my biggest concern right now. I think Marv is going to get his. I think Trey is a superstar, the best tight end in the NFL. The offensive line is fine. James Conner looked good. Kyler Murray's got to get the ball in the end zone more consistently.
Yeah, it was similar but different, obviously, from the preseason performance because in pass pro, the offensive line, was perfect against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was not perfect today. It was tough sledding at times. But similar in the sense that I thought, despite the interception that Kyler had, he was able to find receivers downfield.
Yeah.
Which we want to see that this preseason.
Don't quit that.
That's what we were looking for. And I thought that existed today. I thought that there was enough splash plays that if you do that within a 60-minute football game, that would translate well for your offense. But sure, the red zone woes, that's something that you absolutely have to clean up. That's something that we saw on full display just with the first team offense, just in a sample size as far as the preseason goes. 2 drives, one ends up in a back-breaking pick, and the other one ends up, 4th and 1. They probably go for it in the regular season, but they choose for the field goal. They walk away with 3 points. You want more than that.
There was a play to end this maybe the second to last drive in 11-on-11. Cardinals had worked their way down against the Broncos' first team that included Patrick Surtain, and they worked their way down inside the red zone. They got, I think, right around maybe the 10, 15-yard line. Marvin Harrison Jr. gets a step, and Kyler Murray overthrows him in the end zone. Those are the kind of things where you have to convert. Those are the kind of plays that have to be made if this team is going to go from good fringe playoff team to what a lot of people think. I talked to Benjamin Albright for 20 minutes. Thinks the Cardinals can win the NFC West. We happen to believe that as well. They have the personnel. You got to get more consistency, which has been the theme for Kyler Murray. Consistency, stringing together, touchdown drives, stringing together crooked numbers in his box score on the good side of things. It can't be a roller coaster. And so I think you can take a lot of this with a grain of salt because of how special Denver is defensively, but it's like, Marv had that guy beat. Let's make that play. Let's make it against the best, right? Let's have Kyler Murray be his best. So again, that's us nitpicking, but we're giving you our immediate reactions from joint practice.
Yeah. I can't discount how dominant Trey McBride was today. They needed a little juice offensively, and Trey McBride was able to, the defensive front was really kind of coming after Kyler, and they was able to find 85.
Yeah.
Hit him once for a 10-yard first down, and then Trey McBride got crazy stupid open at one point. Would have been a touchdown, and then you had another big play from Trey on the exact same series for that offense. But let's get to this. This is special. This is generous. $99
Unbelievable.
From Miles. Miles jumping in saying, I've started a podcast with my buddy, taking all things football and basketball. I've never would have had the drive nor the courage to get behind the mic if it weren't for sweet baby Bo and Johnny.
Oh, wow.
I'll do my best to defend our innocent Redbirds against my 49er co-host. Love, PHNX. Congrats, Miles. You're going to crush it, man. That's the first step. Just launching your own show, doing your own podcast. It's the only way you're going to get better and go to where you want to go with this thing. That's the best idea, and we wish you all the best and all the luck.
We need more Cardinal content creators. We say that a ton of. There are other podcasts out there. Consume them all, do them all. And if you're anxious or trepidatious to make the leap like Miles, like I started doing a podcast in 2015. Nobody listened to it, but I love doing it. Mm-hmm. We got to keep doing it. You've done multiple podcasts before, PHNX Sports, PHNX Cardinals. So again, we appreciate that more than you know. That makes us feel great, and it makes us feel, like this community is special, because it is. So thank you so much, Miles. $100, not necessary, but gracious nonetheless. So that's a perfect pivot point here. Miles is going to cap us off for our first segment. Right around the corner, we've got full highlights, we've got presser clips, and we're going to continue to break things down. How did Will Johnson look in his first true test against a prolific passing attack? That's coming up. We're fired up here to be with our friends at DNVR Sports, but can't wait to get back to the Valley, especially this fall with our friends at Phoenix Raceway Championship Weekend. NASCAR returns to Phoenix. You better be there. Again, they get the best access in all in sports to NASCAR fans with a small ticket upgrade. You're in the Desert Diamond Chase infield experience. Again, if you've never been out to experience NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, what are you doing? This is the sport that's got, you have to experience it in person. Nothing can match the smell of burnt rubber or fuel in the air, the sound of cars roaring up and down 200 miles an hour. Hell yeah. After a grueling start to the season in February, it all comes down to this. It's Championship Weekend. Don't miss your chance right now. Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets for the Cup Series Championship race sells out every year. Every year it does. Take our word for it, so grab them now. And here's the kicker. NASCAR is taking Championship Weekend on the road starting in 2026. So this is your last chance, right? So do yourself a favor. Check out a little NASCAR, parlay it with a little Cardinal football. Perfect weekend with you and your fam. Tickets, hospitality, upgrades, all still available. Get your tickets now. Link in the show notes below.
Love that. We're flying back home tomorrow, and I know as soon as we land at Sky Harbor, I'm going to be jumping on my smartphone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be cranking my AC all the way down.
Yeah.
Because we've been out of town, and we're going to crank it all the way down. We're going to get it to comfortable conditions. Going to cooled all the way down with my smartphone and my smart thermostat, and it's going to be legit, and it's going to be a nice cool place, and we're not going to have had to cool down the house the entire time we were away. That's because we're enrolled in the Cool Rewards program via APS. Also, if you don't have a smart thermostat, you don't have to kind of fret any longer, because APS wants to hook you up with a smart thermostat as low as $0. That's right. Free 99. Smart thermostat from APS. They'll get you rewarded or enrolled in their Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, see if it's eligible. That's what I did. Enroll in Cool Rewards. Plus, it's a free install and available for the link in our video description just below. Check it out. Must be an APS customer. Pay shipping and taxes, but that's a small fee. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information. That's marketplace.aps.com. for more information.
We know we had to make a new stream. Do us a favor. Hit us with some likes. Even if you liked the other stream and you came back, maybe give your boys another like here on a PHNX Cardinals. I'm going to call it Joint Practice Post-Game Show. We were out there for 4 hours today. We appreciate the hospitality not only from our friends at DNVR Sports, but the Denver Broncos. Cardinals were out there as well. Do a phenomenal job traveling with the team. Peyton Manning out there kind of hobnobbing. The stars were out. How do you think the star players performed for the Cardinals today?
On the offensive side of the football?
Either side of the ball.
I thought they showed up. I thought for the most part you saw, guys who were making plays were the guys that you anticipated making plays for this team.
Yeah.
Right? Whether, on the offense, it's Trey McBride catching passes from Kyler Murray. There weren't like any hipster guys making plays today, right? I mean, on the defensive side is that defensive front that we were expecting to make a jump in Calais Campbell and Darius Robinson, Josh Sweat. They they played how we expect them to play.
Yeah. The Cardinals, again, they have a talent surplus. It's not a talent problem, right? It's going to come down to, we know the Cardinals can beat bad teams. We know they can beat average teams. The Dolphins last year, the Jets, the Bears. They took care of business against those teams. They're going to open up the season, and regardless of what Connor Orr at SI, good hell, don't read that piece of garbage, is going to tell you about the Cardinals, they're going to start fast this year. It's going to come down to late in the season, pivotal matchups, Thursday night football, Monday night football, prime time. Can the Arizona Cardinals beat good to great teams? The Broncos are a good team. They have a chance to be great. The only way the Cardinals are going to be great is if they can beat great teams. And again, like, I think they can. I think they have the personnel to do so. I know. We'll get to the super chat later. I guess let's pull it up right now.
Okay.
Because I think it's very on brand. George is asking, 199, is Kyler the guy, Johnny? Consistently has been an issue. He's the guy right now, absolutely. And physically looks great. He makes plays where you're like, that was incredible. I'm not going to judge Kyler Murray for this year until this year is up, until we get through the bulk of the season and we see where things are trending. Because, again, like, I was talking to people from Denver. I'm like, Bo Nix looks great. And he's like, yeah, he's had an up and down camp, right? I was just talking to somebody the other day saying Sam Levitt's having an okay camp for ASU. It's like, I don't know if they're trying new things out, if they're trying to put things on tape. All I know is I'm going to judge Kyler Murray from week 1 to week 17, hopefully and beyond. And hopefully they're in a position where Kyler Murray cements himself as the quarterback of the future. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's the quarterback this year. There is nobody that's available this offseason in the training, or excuse me, in the QB room, that's better than what you have. Jacoby Brissett is not better than Kyler Murray. I don't believe Sam Darnold is better than Kyler Murray, or certainly anybody in this past year's draft, which was a nightmare world. So I think if you want to have a conversation about that, it's just going to have to be tabled in the offseason based on how they finish.
Yeah. I mean, what have we heard about the offense going into training camp, throughout training camp, whether it's talking to Petzing or Trey McBride or Kyler Murray, is that they've really kind of revamped some things.
Yeah.
Right? So to expect that it's perfect, and then also to come into a joint practice against the Denver Broncos and say, oh, he's 15 for 28 or whatever Theo Mackey put out there, and, you know, it didn't look perfect. I mean, you got to maybe change your expectations. You're going to go in against the team that has been dominating on the side of the football.
They were the number one defense last year.
They were the number one defense last year. They got better. They added to it. And I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's like, let's also have a perception, understand that this game is hard.
Yeah. I mean,
if they came in and they rolled this Broncos defense, I mean, we'd probably be we'll be standing on top of these tables screaming and hollering that they took them apart.
This is a passing game that was roughly between like 18th and 20th in the NFL last year, and it was almost dead last in like explosive plays. So like to sit here and say like, well, that's all fixed and it's all corrected and they're the best unit in the NFL, like that's what it would have taken today to light up the Broncos. And they did. They had their opportunities. They made big plays. Marvin Harrison Jr. made an over-the-shoulder catch on the run with Kyler Murray throwing a beautiful deep ball for 30 yards down the sideline. Now, that one wasn't Surtain, but the very next play, he hits Marvin Harrison Jr. on a crosser route that would have been an additional 10 to 15 yards against Patrick Surtain. So there were moments like that on top of the Trey McBride, explosives and breakdowns and touchdowns that we talked about earlier. But this team, I think this defense is going to be as advertised. I think this offense, it's going to be difficult for me to give an assumption on it without watching them play in the regular season.
Humble Rumble, I want to highlight this.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is a small quarterback. Jacoby is 6'4", scored 2 touchdowns with the twos. Meanwhile, Kyler's throwing no-look passes. Jacoby Brissett didn't throw a ball over 10 yards in that game. He dumped the ball off to Amari Dermacado for 43 yards. He did all the heavy lifting there. And then he throws a 1-yard touchdown pass to Xavier Weaver. Are we really getting to that point after a joint practice? I mean, come on, guys.
Here's what I'll say about Kyler Murray. He knows the pressure's on, and people are no longer giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like that's done. And again, this show, we're supporters of Kyler Murray. He's been on this show before. We're not going to come on a post-game show and tell you if he played well if he didn't, right?
Right.
The expectation this year is make the playoffs. You got to make the playoffs. The more and more that we hear about Matthew Stafford, it sounds like that is done. Like they're going to trot him out here in a wheelchair before the start of the regular season. He's got a bad back. Sounds like his elbow's not doing well. He's not practicing at all. I had somebody today at camp tell me he's just not practicing at all. He won't practice all year. And he's just going to try to play games. You cannot, if you're Kyler Murray, 27, 28 years old, lose to that. Sam Darnold with a bad offensive line and not only durability questions, but, hanging on to the football in inclement weather. Yeah. They lose DK Metcalf, and then the 49ers team the 49ers are not good. Right. You cannot be losing to them head-to-head. This is Kyler Murray's best chance since he entered the NFL, not only to win the division, but to do something bigger than that. It's all right. The Cardinals team is ready to win. Yeah. He's in his prime. You got to go do it. And if you're asking me, do I think he will? I do. I think this team will respond, and I think they will make the playoffs and hopefully win the division. I don't think he's going to roll over.
Let's not just take our word for it. Let's hear from Trey McBride. Trey McBride talked post-practice how he felt the offense performed.
I thought the offense had a really good day today. Couple bad throws here, missed opportunities there, whatever it was. But I think for the most part, we executed very well. I'm sure there's a couple plays we'd like to get back, just like every play or every game, whatever. But I thought the offense had a really good day. Obviously, it's never as good as you think. It's never as bad as you think. But I think from where we are and what we came out to do, we did exactly what we needed to do.
So there you go. I mean, Trey McBride seemed to think like, hey, we come out, we have these things that we want to accomplish, and we felt like we got it accomplished. Yeah. It was a good day at the office for the offense. What could it have been better, as he's saying there? Were there throws that they want back? Were there plays that they want back? Absolutely. But that's going to happen probably within the structure of joint practices, preseason games, and also going up against the defense as good and talented as the Denver Broncos. I don't want to sit here and make excuses, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say Kyler Murray went out there and he sucked because he didn't throw for 4 touchdown passes. I think that's a little unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. Again, he had 17 passing touchdowns going into the finale last year. Then he had 4 against the backups for the 49ers, a 49er team that was dead and buried. So I think adjusting for the schedule and continuity, I think we've been pretty consistent. If he has anything over 25, this is a playoff team. Can't have the same kind of passing numbers as last year and expect to make the playoffs. Can't. The best course of action right now for this team, and this is what they plan on doing. So everybody that's concerned about the play calling and Drew Petzing, I thought the play calling was pretty good last Saturday. Here's the offense: Kyler, Trey, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr. If you're not one of those players I just mentioned, it's going to be very difficult for you, not necessarily to have a role, but to have an expanded role. I don't remember Michael Wilson catching a pass today. Yeah. And Michael Wilson's a really good player. We're just, right now, the state of this offense, 85, 18, 6, number 1. Are those 4 players good enough to get you to the postseason? I definitely think they are. I think they're all Pro Bowl, all pro caliber players when they're at their best. Yeah. But they got to do it. This is not an offense that's going to have a bunch of robust statistics outside of those 4 players.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what it's going to kind of look like last Saturday against the Chiefs, right? I mean, it was Michael Wilson made a play in that game. What do you have, 13-yard catch? He's going to have to take advantage of his opportunities because they're going to be few and far between. It's going to be quality over quantity. You hope. And this is what Baldy told us for the most part on Tuesday. I highly recommend you go check out that interview. It's up on its own, where it's this offense is going to have to be led by Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. The bulk of the target share, both of them need to be easily in the 20% of target share, if not them combined being 50% of the target share from Kyler Murray going forward.
Yeah, let's get we're reading Super Chats on the fly because you guys are bringing out great ones today. Keep them going. Again, flush us with likes. We've got training camp highlights right around the corner as much as we could shoot. Noah did a great job. And we've got some updates from Jonathan Gannon. But Jonathan Castro asked us, 199, do you feel more or less confident after today? I think I feel about the same. Yeah. I think I don't.
It's just like the preseason performance, right? It didn't inspire this undeniable hope. If that's what you want me to, I wish I could turn on the mic and look into the camera and say, hey, they looked awesome. I think that they're going to take the next step. But from the 2 performances that you really could evaluate outside of the Cardinals going against themselves, I mean, you've got, some good, and then you've got, some bad. Yeah. And you come away and it's just we don't have very many more answers than we started, with the questions we started with.
I'm confident because the talent is on the roster. And I think that even if you get a Sunday where Kyler Murray is not at his best, you're going to be able, in my opinion, to win games with a run game and a defense and a pass rush and takeaways, Kyler Murray's legs right. That has not been the case maybe ever. And you look at some of these teams that made the postseason last year. Denver Broncos won games early. I know Seattle didn't make the playoffs, won 10 games. They won it with a run game and defense and opportunistic passing plays. I'm optimistic that, knock on wood, nobody's hurt for this team. They're going to be full strength. They're probably going to throttle it down a little bit over the next couple of weeks to get ready for the opener. It's all right there in front of them. I'm optimistic that this team has enough quality depth and high-end players. Like Jordan Burch is already running with the ones after last weekend. What does that tell you? And I put a tweet out. Baron Browning, Jordan Burch, Zaven Collins, Josh Sweat. I know Zaven was here last year and Browning came, the trade deadline. It's just dramatically better than what they had last year. They had no shot to win with 4. I was talking to Benjamin Albright today, and he said the Niners are basically the Cardinals of last year and the year before. Guess what they're going to have to do with their front 4 and their front 7? They're going to have to blitz. Robert Saleh tried to blitz last week. He's going to have to do it in the regular season because they don't have any good players. Michael Williams is out. Nick Bosa's hurt. He missed practice today. They have no defensive linemen, no D tackles. The Cardinals are not living that life anymore. And so you're going to be able to win games, maybe a certain style of play. And then hopefully Kyler Murray then says, you know what? I'm going to step up. I'm going to win a division title. Brock Purdy's been to Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts threw under 20 touchdowns last year. The NFL it's not a one size fits all where Josh Allen MVP, that's what you need to be able to contend.
Yeah. Libertarian Sasquatch. And we are taking away for a fun segment at the end because of the super chats, but you guys are making good points.
You're crushing it, guys.
I know he's joking, but he's like, Libertarian Sasquatch says talent is on the roster, slowly takes off. Suns hat. Like the Suns, yes, we know about the talent they had on the roster. I feel like this is different. Obviously, this is a organization that's not devoid of culture.
Kevin Durant's not going to torpedo this culture.
Yeah, there's I don't get this. Like Kyler Murray, you can say what you want about him. One of the things that I think is a misconception is that he's all about himself. He's a tremendous teammate, and he's not going to torpedo his team because of if he's not playing well. I mean, as far as his attitude, that would kind of linger with that.
Yeah.
But it's 53 guys. It's not, a couple guys at the top and then you're just filling in, trying to fill the gaps with some of these other players like the Suns did as far as filling out the NBA roster. I just don't think it's the same.
It's not. And this is a youthful team. That Suns team was older. They're putting a lot of eggs in Bradley Beal's basket, which was a disaster. So
right.
Cardinals are in
There's
a much...
no Bradley Beal.
No,
Kevin Durant equivalent.
Calais Campbell is the complete opposite of Bradley Beal. I don't know how we got on this subject. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to come around the corner. We got full camp highlights as well as comments from Jonathan Gannon. What's the latest? Dalvin Tomlinson, Walter Nolan. We'll tell you. That's coming up. So blessed to be here. DNVR Sports, their studio, phenomenal. Also phenomenal, Bo, our friends at Bet365. Again, betting season is here. Do yourself a favor. Download the Bet365 app. Never ordinary. We're big-time sickos. We bet on preseason football last weekend. We cashed out a winner, plus 310. Hit the under in the Cardinals money line. You can, too. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet a mere $5. Win or lose. Sign up. Use the bonus code PHNX. 365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for a 5 spot. You're getting $150. Do it right now and do yourself a favor. We've got futures, parlays, whatever you need. Use your bonus bets. I can never do a future because I want that instant gratification like I did last weekend. So I use my bonus bets. Again, new customers, you're getting $150, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with Bet365. You gotta be 21 years and older, physically located here in the great state of Arizona. We'll be back there manana. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
Love that from Bet365. Make sure you're using that code. You're signing up right now, getting the app on your phone. Got to tell you about a tremendous new partner that we have. How about Mack Weldon?
Ooh.
Oh, man, we're so busy these days, right? You're going from work to the gym to maybe a night out for dinner, and Mack Weldon is the perfect gear that's built for that. Whether you're going from the gym to a night out, summer adventures, you've got Mack Weldon that's just built breathable clothes that are going to keep you cool, comfortable, and stylish for the perfect summer look. Get 25% off right now using the code PHNX. It's unbelievable what you can do. And of course, Johnny, we know what you're going to use. You're going to use that code on. You're going to go get some of that signature Mack Weldon skivvies.
Skivvies. Give me my skivvies.
You're going to update your skivvies. We've been on the road together. You do need to upgrade your skivvies, man. Yep. I mean, that's not a great sight to see in the Airbnb.
Okay.
Get yourself some Mack Weldon skivvies. Get the Cool Max technology and do it by getting 25% off your first order of $125 or more with the promo code PHNX. MackWeldon, MackWeldon.com, promo code PHNX.
400 plus watching live on YouTube alone. We appreciate you. Hammer that like button. The goal every day of training camp is 500 plus likes for your boys at PHNX Cardinals. Here's a sweet treat. How about some training camp highlights? Now, I'll preface this by saying Broncos, a little bit more stringent with the access. They were still wonderful, don't get me wrong. So we got what we could. Noah Mann did a phenomenal job. Let's see him, Noah.
It looks cool. It does look cool. As the Cardinals, Broncos hit the field, a little Kyler Murray warm-up session here, just throwing the ball on a line, just getting loose to go up against that Broncos top defense. There's Sean Payton and Jonathan Gannon chopping it up. Was that Fryer, 78?
Yeah, some individual
John
work.
Back out there as well. Froholt. There's Monty Osford talking to somebody with the Broncos. Can't confirm or deny that was George Payton or not. I would assume.
Let's guess.
Some sled work. Yeah, let's just speculate. Let's just recklessly speculate. There's Coach Debo getting his defensive linemen working. Like we said, they had a good day. Stop the run. There's D-Rob. And more Darius Robinson.
He looked great.
Ready. Yeah, he does. He looks poised for a breakout in year 2.
Dante Stills left practice briefly. He came back. There's big man Elijah Simmons. You figure he's going to play a lot. We'll give you an update on everybody else in that D-tackle group. But, I mean, the Cardinals' defensive line looked the part. Speaking of looking the part, here are the defensive backs, Max Melton, Garrett Williams, and, of course, Will Johnson, who had a tough day out there today. He did stay late at practice today to get extra work in and was physically fine. But, you know, Sean Payton Bonix went after the rookie and he gave up a completion to Marvin Mims. Garrett Williams, by the way, gave up a long completion. So it's the NFL. The rules are tailored for the offense, but I still have high hopes for this Cardinals front seven, back seven, led by Will Johnson. So excited to see if Will actually plays this weekend or not. I know starters aren't playing, but you would think maybe they put him out there for possession.
I think this is going to be a big game for guys who are vying for roster spots.
Yeah.
And that's something that Will Johnson has played himself. You know, obviously a second-round pick. He's not in any trouble there, but I don't know if he plays on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Denzel Burke looked really good. He had a couple pass breakups. I was talking to Teo Mackey. His technique is fantastic for somebody that he doesn't have limitations athletically, but he's not Will Johnson, right? He's not Max Melton. So he's somebody that immediately is going to vie for playing time should somebody go down, God forbid. Darren Hall was out there. So Cardinals secondary is just fine. Their defense as a whole looks really good. How's their defensive line shaping up? Specifically, Dalvin Tomlinson was held out of practice again today. Here's JG on his veteran nose tackle.
He's not going to go today. Just a little bit of knee soreness. He's doing well, but I didn't think it was the right thing to do to put him out there today. He's doing well. He's progressing right where he should be progressing. You know, it hasn't had any, I don't want to say the word setback, but hasn't had any setbacks. He's progressing well.
No setbacks. Not going to say setbacks, but he said he didn't have any setbacks.
And that was about Walter Nolan,
right?
Too. So Darius, Dalvin Tomlinson. I think you and I speculated this isn't coming from the team. This could be a Marv kind of deal.
It's kind of maintenance.
Yeah, where you're like, we'll see you next Monday, Dalvin. He's a huge man. If you've ever seen Dalvin Tomlinson, and he's got a huge lower body, but he's got a big upper body, and there are a lot of weight on that knee, on those knees. You need the bullets for the regular season. So no concern, no IR, no pup, whatever that is.
Yeah.
he'll be back, and I think Walter Nolan will be back sooner rather than later. He looks good walking around. It's with the defensive linemen. Very stark contrast from Darius Robinson last year, and then as Gannon said, no setbacks. So hopefully this fits the timeline of practicing, hoping to play in week 1, but if not, week 2.
I mean, we did the math on the days when we initially heard about the injury, right?
Yeah.
And then we're at the point where, what are we, about 5 weeks?
Yeah.
From we're not 5 weeks.
No, we're like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So are we going to be at that point, almost like 60 days that he wouldn't have played, and then you want to shelve him for another 4 going on IR at minimum? Doesn't seem like that's something they want to do with the 16th overall pick.
Yeah, we were told by somebody close to the situation, like barring like a setback, like the goal is for him to play in the opener. But if he can't play in the opener, it would be like shortly after that.
Yeah.
This is like, you would blow so much chance for development. Just run heavy at the defensive tackle group. Like Mack Wilson's by himself at off-ball linebacker. Like I don't think they're keeping 4 off-ball linebackers, right? So you just have to shave off a position player here or there. Elijah Simmons, hopefully he plays well on Saturday. Justin Jones, no sign of him. Yeah. Bilal Nichols is in sweats. Like, BJ Ojolari's not coming back, anytime soon. We speculate. So I think you can afford to just stash him, even if he misses week 1 on the active roster. I think that would be in their best their benefit.
Yeah, I mean to have him out the first 4 weeks, it's not crushing to what you want to do defensively, but I think it does start.
He can't practice if you do that, right?
He can't practice.
He's going to be practicing soon. So what are they going to do? Like, hey, you practice for 2 weeks, but the start of the regular season's coming up. We're actually going to cut this off here. We'll see you in a month. And again, I'm not saying this is Walter Nolan. That position in particular, where guys can get heavy and they can get out of shape, you don't want that in your life. You want these guys primed and ready to go. So again, it's a 53-man roster. Manipulate it, and I think they will. I expect Walter Nolan, if he's not playing in New Orleans, which, again, that horror show, you do not need him to beat the New Orleans Saints. I think he plays against I think he makes his debut at home in week 2 against Carolina.
Could be on the road for a big divisional showdown against the 49ers.
Yeah.
But, are you going to want to turn around and play on a short week the following week at home against the Seahawks at Thursday Night Football? But, I'll go. They put a lot of thought into this. This is not something that they just kind of fly by the seat of their pants on. It's something that they take very seriously as far as getting these guys all the way back healthy, and then also in the football shape. That's the next step. So needs to check that health box, get off PUP, and if he ever gets off PUP, I don't know. I mean, training camp, preseason could come and go, and then it turns into he prepares for his first NFL game within the regular season as far as that schedule.
Hammer that like button and subscribe here on PHNX Sports. Any other sound bites? We'll keep in the realm of the defensive line here. Calais Campbell spoke to the media late in the afternoon before we took off and had some interesting things to say about his future. Do we have that bite in particular? Or?
Yeah, I think, we don't have the one about Calais' future, but we have the one talking about just how the defense performed today.
Today was a really good day. I feel like iron sharpened iron. There was a lot of back and forth. This is a playoff team that is tough. They're very resilient, and I feel like we went back and forth. The run game, I think we were pretty dominant. But Bo Nix is looking good out there, man. He threw some really good balls, but we put some pressure on him too. I think we had all the sacks that would have probably negated some of the big throws they had. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of good football we played.
Again, Calais would have had a sack today if this was a live game. He looks fantastic. We were joking, like he ramps things up, and this is not a knock on him in individuals, right? It doesn't, when Calais is moving in individuals, it doesn't look like Darius or Dante Stills. Right. But then when he's asked to turn it on, right, like a veteran starter in Major League Baseball, he can go out there and pitch a shutout. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, very unimpressive. I mean, in the nicest way when he's warming up.
He's 38 years old.
He's big. He's 38, entering season 18.
Yeah.
Give him a little grace there. But once it's like go time,
he
looks just as good as he has ever.
Well, this could be the end of times for Calais as a member of the National Football League. So we don't have this clip, but you reported on Twitter that Calais noted that, yeah, he's preparing like this is his last season.
Yeah, he said he'd be surprised if it's not. But that's like the least shocking thing ever.
Right.
I mean, and he alluded to this in his return press conference, just saying, this is kind of the last go. He'll think about his future when that time comes, but he's not also shying away from like, could I not? It seems like I'm going to retire more likely than not.
Yeah, I mean, things could change. Cardinals could make a run, and they could be close, and they could say, hey, one last year, and players could go visit him at his house, and they could convince him, and he could skip training camp next year. But he's an all-time Cardinal. He's a borderline Hall of Famer. He could get in on longevity alone. Send him outright. He came here because he believed in what the Cardinals were building, and it's a coup that it's the franchise that drafted him back in 2008. The Cardinals should be a playoff team. You need that. So this guy gets the send-off he deserves. You need to be on national TV. You need to have people talking about this team. Don't let his final season in the NFL go off with a whimper, not with his play, but with the team that he's on. Like, unfortunately for Fitz, like, in 2021, 2020, Larry's last year, it just, unfortunately, the team just wasn't contending. And I think it was maybe 2020. And I would have loved to see Larry Fitzgerald go out with a division title. It just doesn't always end that way.
Yeah, Walter Payton, Man of the Year, triple-digit sacks, 110. I mean, that's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's a Hall of Fame career.
You guys are a Hall of Fame audience. Hit that like button. Again, the goal 500. We got 416 watching live. More takeaways. Again, do the Arizona Cardinals have a problem offensively? Is it a problem that they're missing Saturday's preseason game? Would you have liked to see them play? Plus, I think we've got a couple interesting tweets that we'll pull up. That's coming up. It's PHNX Cardinals. I'll tell you what, we made the unfortunate decision. We didn't get food on our way to training camp this morning. I didn't have coffee. I didn't have an energy drink, nothing. And then we went to join practice and, we just had some water and we grinded for 4 hours. I could have used the meal deal matrix with our friends at Circle K, doing us justice back in the Valley and beyond. The $3 meal deal. Nothing costs $3 anymore. Well, you can get $3 meal deal. Hot dog, tornado, Frito-Lay's chips, a Polar Pop, up to 44 ounces. That would have done the job. I have had no caffeine today. I need it like I need air. How about the $4 meal deal? Circle K Breakfast Sammy, hash brown, 60-ounce Bang energy drink, inject it into my veins. They've got the C4 Ghost or medium coffee. And then the coup de grace, the big time meal, $5, 2 slices of pizza, 20-ounce Polar Pop up to 44 ounces. Whatever you want right now, do it with our friends at Circle K. It's just like, you want to spend money, you want to pay $18 every place you go, or you want to save money with our friends at Circle K via the Inner Circle. Download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com, Bo, for more details.
We may be out of town in the friendly confines of DMVR Sports Studios, which are so nice, but we will be returning home to brand new studios at PHNX Sports. That's because of our good friends, Two Men in a Truck. They are doing the heavy lifting as far as our move go. When life moves forward, we'll be there. That's their tagline. Check them out right now if you're about to move. You really lean on them. 480-991-1805. Two Men in a Truck. Check them out. TwoMenScottsdale.com. Two Men in a Truck. The movers who care. They're going to get your move done. They're going to, of course, put your stuff in storage if that's where it needs to go. They're going to take care of your stuff so well that you're also going to be able to just put your feet up and watch them go to work. Because that's the worst part of moving. I mean, moving might be a number one seed. Worst things to do.
Yeah.
To get Two Men in a Truck to be able to do it and do it as well as they do, quick, easy, convenient, it's you can't beat that. For all your storage needs, visit Two Men in a Truck, Scottsdale.com. Learn more about their storage solutions and give them a call, 480-991-1805.
Hammer the like, become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. $36 throughout the remainder of training camp. We want to say big thank you to all of the new diehards that have joined. Big thanks to everybody that's been hanging out in the Discord. If you've been hesitant, we're doing behind the scenes of our entire trip here in Denver. We're going to go to the Rockies game later tonight. D-backs are in town. How about that?
Snakes, baby.
Full highlights in the Discord, but you can only check it out if you are a diehard.
I was wondering this. Maybe just kind of a rite of passage or, initiation, like this, since we did the 999,
Yeah.
and then our former producer Damon did the 999.
Yep.
Should Noah have to do the 999 challenge tonight?
So he'd have to do it in front of our wives. Your kids are here, and then the Rockies are not great. I think this is the perfect time for him.
Yeah,
to do
I
it.
think it is too. And I gotta imagine, they got Coors Light there.
Yeah.
And you could just easily. I mean, you and I had some people were nice to give us beers, but they were heavy beers.
I can't do. I
Coors
can't.
Light should be good drinking beer for this.
Yeah, I can do that.
Are you up for the challenge?
I'll do it.
That sounds like just a terrible idea.
Do you
in
get
hindsight.
hungover?
Do I get hungover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't get
Like
hungover?
like fierce hangovers.
Oh,
Because we're gonna fly tomorrow. Like I don't want to put you in a miserable spot.
we'll figure that out when it gets there.
Interesting.
We're gonna be carrying Noah home.
We are, yeah. Listen, we got the practice and we've done our job after the show. It's time to have some fun. Did the Cardinals have fun today at joint practice?
Got chippy. Did you see that with Tip Ryman?
I got scared when that happened. That scared me.
Tip Ryman. Some Bronco had him by the face mask, but he was blocking another guy to the ground.
Tip blew somebody up on either kickoff or kickoff return. I think it was kickoff return.
Right.
And then the Broncos took, offense to that. Like blew him up and decleated him and he was on the ground. And so, that's what he does. Tip's an elite blocker. We know that. He doesn't have a great route tree, but he's an elite blocker. All the Broncos ran on the field, and then he's in the middle of the skirmish. And that was the only kind of physicality that kind of went too far.
There was another one. It was before that. It was in the same
I missed that one.
kick return. Greg Dortch was the return man, and he took it up, and then the momentum was stopped, and then some Bronco player gave him the shoulder, and he was a big dude, and Greg took exception to it, and that was kind of the first thing that I think kind of got the ball rolling as far as things being chippy.
Yeah, it was a physical practice, specifically with Patrick Surtain and Marvin Harrison Jr. Here's the head coach, JG, on the matchup.
Yeah, he's the best probably in the business right now, or one of the top couple. I got a high opinion of that guy. It's going to be good. It's going to be good back and forth. I know he's excited. All our receivers are excited. Tight ends are excited. He's a premium player that has done a really good job, and it's going to be a good challenge for our guys.
I think a lot was made early as we were putting tweets out, and Trey was dominating, and Marv didn't get a lot of looks, or there was a disconnect. The way Marv ended, Patrick Surtain or otherwise, I would be very encouraged. I think Marv looks good. I think Marv is poised for a much better year than last year. And again, there are plays like we outlined earlier. He's open and the ball didn't come to him for whatever reason, or it was an overthrow, right? They still have to clean that up.
Yeah.
But like people who are concerned about his physicality or his speed or his separation, it's good enough. It's good enough for him to win at the point of attack. Again, 1,300 yards. I don't know. He's going to sleepwalk his way to that pending injury.
Yeah, it was a nice little finish for him against Surtain. I think that was the last catch that he reeled in. Just kind of going towards the sideline, got the separation necessary, and Kyler hit him. And that was the previous play was the 30-yard plus bomb, right? So a couple good plays to end there for Marvin Harrison Jr. I think it was Theo Mackey that had him 4 for 8 catches and targets for the day. And
I think they must have started 0 for 4 though, because again, it looked rough early because the pressure was in Kyler Murray's face. It's just so easy for Kyler to go to Trey. I just think there's obviously more continuity.
Yeah,
and the route tree I think is more conducive to Kyler's size. And so they're still working on it. They are moving Marvin Harrison Jr. around. He plays the slot, he plays inside, he plays outside. They put him in motion. He caught a couple passes underneath today, 7 to 8 yards, kind of moved the sticks catches. And then he can make big plays. And so he has not scratched the surface of his production. Anybody who watched last year and was like, that's who he is, he's a finished product. No. I mean, the people that we talked to today, I heard like Jesse Palmer say like he's open all the time.
Yeah.
They need to do a better job getting him the football.
Yeah. Not Jesse Palmer, right?
Yeah, what's his name?
Jesse Palmer is
not Jesse Palmer. What's the guy? What's the guy who helps out here and does NFL Network? What's
Palmer's the right name. But Jesse Palmer's like the Bachelor guy.
I can't remember what his name is. I apologize. But he had some very complimentary things to say about Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin gets open.
Yeah.
Marvin is open. He gets open. He's going to make plays this year.
Yeah.
Let's continue on with our conversation about the Arizona Cardinals, specifically about can they win the NFC West. I think the last 2 weeks, a great litmus test. James Palmer, thank you. I was close, Marley P. James Palmer, great guy, does great work, and had some complimentary things to say. Speaking of complimentary, Benjamin Albright, after he and I spoke, put a tweet out. I'm not saying it's coincidental, but it feels like it might be. Was asked.
You feel like you inspired him? Or
Yeah,
what?
Gann and I, friend of the program, asking Benjamin Albright, who was in practice at practice today.
Oh, yeah. So Gannonite inspired him.
Well, no, I think just maybe his response was kind of juiced up by my comments and
Probably
scouting
not.
report of the
He
team.
kind of looked like you wanted.
Let
to
me
get away
finish
from you.
reading this tweet. How are the
No,
Cardinals?
did you get that sense? You saw it.
How are the Cardinals looking overall? I think they make noise in the NFC West. Last year, Albright says, my sleeper team was Washington. This year, it's Arizona. I believe they can win the West. He did pick Washington last year. He is big fans of Dan Campbell and Jonathan Gannon. So we'll put that out there because they are leaders of men. He's always pushed back on the stigma of you got to be an offensive guy. You can't be a defensive head coach. I mean, he's watching practice with me. He's been at every Bronco practice. He echoes the comments from other people like our guy, Zach Stevens, that this is the best competition that the Broncos have faced this offseason, right? So you couple that with the fact that the Cardinals play an easier schedule, especially to start the year. Year 3 for Gannon. The roster has depth. Kyler Murray hopefully has a bounce back year throwing the football. And then the division is just eroding. Now the time is now.
Yeah.
Yes, hell yeah, they can win the NFC West.
Yeah, I think the last part of that, the division, the state of it, it's becoming more clear to the national pundits, analysts out there. Like, hey, things aren't like getting better. Players aren't getting healthier in either San Francisco or the key cog up there in Los Angeles in Matthew Stafford. Actually, things seem to be deteriorating.
Right.
Things aren't getting great. So, the opportunity, it seems bigger and more attainable for the Arizona Cardinals. So, but it remains something that we've been following along with, and I think been talking about most of the offseason. Like, if they do what we think they can do with the roster, and they did, and then the players that they drafted last year develop, that they're going to be in a great spot because we know with great coaching and better players, they're going to be in a really good spot. And with them not having to go up in a gauntlet against, McVay at full strength and Shanahan at full strength, and Pete Carroll's gone, and so is Geno Smith up in Seattle. Like, the opportunity's never been bigger for Kyler Murray and crew to cash in. Now it's just that you don't have any excuses. The roster's in place. The division is winnable. Now you got to go do it.
And I think like the Rams had the tiebreaker against the Seahawks. I think the Rams only won like 10 games last year. Speaking of the Rams, Jimmy Garoppolo looks terrible at LA Rams practice. There was a tweet that came out today by a Ram reporter that he was throwing hospital balls today. You got Devontae Adams almost decapitated. So again, that's what they're working with, and they got to unfreeze, as Pat Donahoe of NBC Sports says. Matthew Stafford, you got to get him out of his bio chamber and roll him out in a wheelchair. Kyler Murray is 28, 27 years old. He's in the prime of his career. They cannot lose to a 40-year-old Matthew Stafford or Brock Purdy with a bloated contract and no talent. And then, I think, honestly, if you ask me right now, I think Seattle is their toughest test because they haven't beaten them. Seattle pushed them around last year. Sam Darnold beat this team, albeit with Kevin O'Connell. Jackson Smith and Jigba had his way last year, even against Garrett Williams. Like, the hierarchy of the NFC West, to me, if the Cardinals are going to overtake it, I've got the Niners firmly in the basement. I think they're terrible. And then I've got the LA Rams right above them, and I think the Seahawks will be the Cardinals' toughest test.
I think the cupcake schedule does play to the favor of the Niners, to where they're not going to be cellar dwellers. They certainly could be, obviously, if they get more and more injured.
Yeah.
But no, I love it. I love the passion. I love the hate and the slander about San Francisco.
Any other? Yeah. I mean, to me, Midwest Mike saying we're sweeping the NFC West. Like, we're not going to know how good this defense is until the regular season. We're not going to know how much better Kyler and Marv are. We've gotten hints. We've seen flashes. But then, like today, you got humbled. Your secondary got humbled. There were times where Kyler and Marv looked out of sync again. So, again, can they be in this is, I've said this many times, I'm going to repeat it now. They are attempting to be a better version of last year's team. And they'll say last year's team was last year's team. Nope, it's the same offense. It's the same players. Now, they're trying to elevate Marv and do some different things with him and elevate Kyler Murray, but they're not taking a wrecking ball to this playbook, right? And then defensively, it's the same scheme with better players. And they're banking on that with an increased level of depth and premier players like Josh Sweat, and then couple that with their easy schedule. That's what they're banking on.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that thought, takes us to overtime here from DNVR Studios. Yeah, 1 hour in. Thanks to everybody who tuned in via our streaming partners. Continue on gophnx.com. But yeah, OT now. Look, I mean, the 49ers and their struggles in the Cardinals and where they are, and I think without there needs to be the emphasis on stretching the field, driving the ball down the field, and we talked about that a lot. That's really where you need to see this offense take a jump. And your first two opportunities this season, like New Orleans and Carolina, are conducive to that. And put yourself in a spot going into week 3, like on the road in the division, like you have a chance to kind of make a statement. But you need to do that at 2-0, and you also need to do that with your offense. You have to be feeling a lot better. You got to have some answers that we don't currently have.
Again, like I'll be consistent with this take. I think you have to win with style points at New Orleans. I think you have to win a certain style. Carolina push you around in their building. Do it again to them. You know, unlock your playmakers. I'm with you. I think they can throw the ball downfield against San Francisco. Josh, we got a super chat. $4.99 just came through. Tip Ryman will have more injured defenders than receiving yards, and we will love him for that. Can't wait to watch him pulverize people all year. I mean, like,
it's a great stat.
I thought Trey Benson had a good day today. Elijah Jones is very much a work in progress. The two best picks of that draft class right now in terms of like doing what is asked of them are the two kids from Illinois. Isaiah Adams, I thought he got beat once or twice during team, but he looked great in individual drills, stonewalling a couple defenders for the Broncos. And like Tip Ryman, I may not like the value of where it was taken, but he's an ass kicker of a run blocker. So those 2 third-rounders, they epitomize what Drew Petzing wants to do on offense.
Yeah, be physical, be violent. Let's wrap up with some super chats here. George jumping in, $1.99. Johnny, you wear your illegal MHA jersey yet? Did you get one of those?
I never bought a bootleg MHA jersey. I never broke down during the dark times before it was available. But my son has a number 18 jersey. He wears it with pride now.
How about AZ Kraken, $4.99? Just want to say appreciate the content you all put out at PHNX Sports. Great job and keep it up. Thank you, AZ Kraken. Thank you so much.
We were
that.
very proud to be able to come and do this content on the road. Big shout out to our guy, Espo, our GM, who made it happen. And then big shout out for the Cardinals. We're excited to see us and would love to do more of this in the future. I know Bo's going to be traveling a little bit during the season. And and then we'll be hitting all of our usual spots in the off season.
We're all traveling week 1, though. We're going to be out there with our guys at Bird Gang Travel.
Yes, sir.
For New Orleans. So it's going to be a party. Don't want to miss out on that. Bees, what's up, Bees? $2. Broncos DBs ducking that Dortch viral clip smoke like we last year. I mean, Dortch put a guy on skates in Indy. So, yeah, they didn't want any of that noise.
Wait, I mean, the Marvin Harrison Jr. over-the-shoulder catch was probably the highlight for me outside of like the busted coverage with Trey, which is not like as aesthetically pleasing. That was the play of the day. And if we had gotten that on camera, we would have definitely put it out there, but we couldn't film or we would have been asked to maybe take a seat. So we didn't want to do that, but you can rest assured, like everybody freaking out about Kyler Murray completing balls over 25, this is at least 30 yards downfield.
Yeah. No, that was it was a definite highlight, and it was something that, you could check a box. You're like, okay, I needed to see that.
Yep.
That happened, and then they were able to get another one the very next play. So quick rundown. Positives. Run game looked good.
The run prevention, the defensive line looked great. Baron Browning, Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, all good, even without Dalvin Tomlinson. The Cardinal, and like we didn't even spend any time on this. James Conner looks great. Yeah. James Conner has had a great training camp. He broke tackles. They didn't want to tackle him. The Cardinals best attribute on offense is still running the football. They do it as well as anybody in the NFL.
Trey McBride dominated.
Mm-hmm.
Marv had some catches at the end. Those are your positives. Your negatives?
I mean,
Passing defense.
Bo Nix had his way.
Yeah.
Give him, hey, some guy was, sometimes you're just going to have an off day or an off Sunday. Secondary, like you don't see Garrett Williams get beat a lot. He got beat today. Will Johnson got beat. They'll learn from it. They have the best defensive back coach in the NFL in Jonathan Gannon. And then
Red zone woes.
Red zone woes. And then just is this offense ever going to be what we need it to be, what we hope it can be to get this team to the postseason, win the division? Like that is a TBD question. If this offense was cooking every time we saw it, and it's had some good days at training camp, I'd come on here and be like, this race is over. They are going to just light up the league. The offense does not look like that yet.
Yeah. I see AZ Coda in the chat. Hit us up on Twitter. I guess he was the recipient of
Yes,
some
congratulations.
season tickets from the Cardinals. You deserve it, my man.
He was grinding on those Twitter streets every day, recording videos, and is a big supporter of the show.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you, Coda. It was great to see you at training camp as well.
Yeah, that was great. Big thank you to our gracious hosts here in Denver, DMVR. Our first glimpse here of the mothership, man.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this is great. And our former producer, Emma, has been in the studio for about half the show. Great to see Emma as well.
Absolutely.
Thriving out here in Denver.
Big thanks to everybody sticking with us with our technical difficulties, getting things started. Do us a favor, hammer that like button. The more likes we get and the more comments below, the more we can do stuff like this. So if you want content, access, availability with all things Arizona Cardinals outside of just Phoenix, the more support that you're able to give us, not with your dollars, but in the form of likes, it would be greatly appreciated.
And one last thing before we get out of here, the residency's going down at the end of the month.
Yes.
August 28th, the same day that they're going to unveil the rivalry uniforms for the Cardinals. We're going to be live basically all day out at Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass, starting at 4:30 with our live show. And then at about 6:30, we are going to turn the cameras off, probably still have some mics so you can hear us, but it's going to be more of an intimate, just kind of live for those in attendance.
Yep.
Our season preview. It's kind of our, our town hall meeting for the Cardinals 2025 season. And then we've got our fantasy football draft, PHNX fantasy football draft, of course, our diehard fantasy football draft.
So fired up for this season, which we believe will end in a postseason berth and hopefully more for the Arizona Cardinals. In the meantime, we are barreling our way toward 50,000 subscribers here at PHNX Sports. Hit us with a subscribe. Drop us a like. Ring that bell for notifications every time we go live. We went live early today. We appreciate all of you. For Bo, Noah, Emma in the house, I'm Johnny Venerable. We're back on a Football Friday from Phoenix. We'll see you then.